This is the Phillies POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Phillies POSTCAST. I'm your host, Mark Farzad. It's great to have you along for the ride. Connor Thomas has you covered each and every day for your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. This one's a tough pill to swallow. Now, let's get to the obvious. The obvious is that the Phillies could have swept but didn't. And then let's get to the worst. The worst is that Trea Turner has a hamstring injury, had to leave the game in the seventh inning. September is not an ideal time for a hamstring injury. It is strained hamstring, okay? These things linger. You're going into a 4-game series against the Mets. You have a 7-game lead. You could have made it an 8-game lead with the win today. So it's like, oh, you get swept against the Mets, still have 4 games. Forget about it. No, of course, that wouldn't be our reaction. Our reaction would be this team sucks. But all in all, it's just the worst possible time in a regular season to all of a sudden come up with a hamstring injury. Now, there's speculation. One could speculate, okay, one could take a guess that the real reason Trea Turner was out for yesterday's game would be the idea, or sat in yesterday's game, was not just, give him a day off, can use a break. It's that the hamstring would be a little tight, little tight. I would assume that it wouldn't just be a 1 day off type of thing if he was worried about a hamstring injury, and I sure as heck don't think he would play the first 7 innings of this ball game and just be fine and dandy, but all of a sudden, maybe busting it down the line, try to break up beat out a double play ball. Or not double play ball, but beat out a grounder to second. Maybe, just maybe, he was there. It was shortstop, excuse me. The shift these days, it always confuses me. But anyway, he wants to beat it out, so he's busting it down the line. Maybe that's where he blew the tire. I don't know. It's all speculation. We'll wait to hear. But during the game, I think it was actually in the 8th inning, we heard the announcement on the broadcast that Trea Turner left the game. He was pulled from the game. We knew he was pulled from the game. Pulled the game with a strained right hamstring. So now we sit and wait with bated breath. Looking at his spot coming up again in the top of the 9th inning in what would be a 1-run ball game. Look, you went from a red-hot Trea Turner to a red-hot Harrison Bader, so I don't think it came back necessarily to haunt the Phillies in that particular instance, albeit you'd much rather have him up there at the plate, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. So we just wait right now to see how bad this is going to be, if it's going to be terrible at all, bad at all for Trea Turner. Maybe a couple of days off, maybe a week off. It's obviously not good news. I will continue to scour the internet to see what Rob Thompson has to say about this one, about Trea Turner's injury after the game, and see if anything comes up. But yes, the Phillies tomorrow start a 4-game series in South Philadelphia with the New York Mets, who did take another loss today. This one at the hands of the Cincinnati Reds, a 4-3 loss. Phillies remain 7 games up right now on the New York Mets in the division, and that's where we sit right now, unfortunately. Could have been a little bit better. It's not a little bit better. It's a rough one. This is a tough one to swallow because, again, you just don't know. And until we know, here's what I know. You're not going to get, news of, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. So that's what we'll wait for here when it comes to the fighting Phils. Now, when I say fighting, today, Taijuan Walker, let me explain my mentality when I'm watching Taijuan Walker in a start. And as has happened many times this year, he has gotten roughed up a bit, 3 runs, 4 runs, whatever the case might be, 2 runs in the first inning. And then, to reiterate one of my favorite phrases, settles in nicely after that. When I'm watching him in the first inning and I see him give up 3 runs, I go, okay, all right, this team could score 3 runs. And who they play? The Marlins? They can score 3 runs on the Marlins? No problem. And then he gives up a 4th run. And you're like, this is going to be a little bit of a problem. But he was great after that first inning. 34 pitches in the first inning. He then averaged 10.6 pitches in the next 5 innings. So, yeah, that's settling in rather nicely. And the Phillies would start to just trickle in runs from time to time throughout the ball game. Unfortunately, not getting the biggest of hits with a lot of runners on and a lot of runners scoring in one fell swoop. But all in all, Taijuan Walker has to find a way to not have that kind of rough start to a game where, again, you're allowing 4 runs to cross the plate, 5 hits, I believe it was in that first inning, and also throwing 34 pitches. It is nothing short of a miracle that he still logged you 6 innings of baseball, 5 scoreless after that first. But he's got to find a way to be better than that, and that leads me into the player of the game. And without question, on the negative side of things, it is Otto Lopez.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I hate to do it, but a guy hits 2 home runs off you. One is a exclamation point to a 3-run first inning after he got the first out of the inning there, Taijuan Walker. Otto Lopez comes up there, gets a 1-1 hanging slider, and I swear it was the type of pitch that just sat up there and went, no, you're going to want to swing really hard. Bang, gone. 424 feet past the Karen stands, as I will refer to them from now on. It passed there for the 3-run home run. Phillies fall in the 3-0 hole. Then you got Acosta up there. He ends up getting the RBI single. It's a 4-0 game. Then, as fate would have it, the guy that got everything going for the Marlins there in that first inning came around later in the ball game in the 7th with the Phillies fighting back to make it a 1-run ball game by the close of the top of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 7th rolls around. 4-3 ball game still. Jose Alvarado in the game, gets the first 2 outs. He then has a full count where he loses control of his breaking pitches, specifically his curveball, and he puts a 3-2 sinker in there that Lopez does not miss. This one 417 feet to left center field, and that would prove to be the difference in the ball game as the Phillies were able to muster a measly run despite a first and second nobody out situation in the 9th inning. They're only able to muster 1 run out of that, and it came on Kyle Schwarber's RBI single. So that would mean that Otto Lopez got the 3-run home run to start it and the game-winning home run for the Marlins. Phillies failed to complete the sweep on that. As far as the turning point,
where the game was won or lost, it's the turning point.
This might be a record for the most specific I will ever be with the turning point of this game. Now, you could say, well, you can't go down 4-0 to the first inning to any baseball team, even the Marlins. You might say that, but I'm going to say this. 1-2 pitch, a 1-2 sweeper to Kyle Schwarber in the 7th inning. That was the turning point of the game. Here's what went down in that 7th inning. They have Peterson pitching for the Marlins. Kepler goes down on a line drive to deep center field. Unfortunately, just died at the warning track. Marchand stepped up there and struck out swinging at a fastball. That was that. Bryson Stott works an 11-pitch, 3-2 count walk, 2-out walk. Now you got a base runner. Now all of a sudden things are happening. Peterson leaves the game. Henriquez comes in. Right-handed pitcher faces Trea Turner. Trea Turner reaches base on that E6 I referenced earlier. That's where he blew the tire, had to walk off the field after a long review. This was like 10 minutes of figuring out whether or not that ball was in play, figuring out whether or not Trea Turner just walked off the field despite no timeout, no nothing, because then he would be ruled out, and that'd be the end of the threat, the end of the inning. So Trea Turner reaches. You got first and third with 2 outs. Kyle Schwarber steps to the plate against right-handed pitching Henriquez. He gets a 1-2 sweeper. That was in the danger zone. And he swipes through it well ahead of it, and just belts this baseball into the upper deck. Foul, and it's one of those pitches that, my mom used to say, you straighten that out. You got to straighten that out, And I'm like, okay, well, the power's there. Let's get that power going again. It'd be nice to have that power back there because you got to run a run, and all of a sudden you're talking about the Phillies going from down 4-3 to up to 5-4. All right, let's get cooking. This 1-2 sweeper hooks foul into the upper deck there, and then Kyle Schwarber flies out to left field on a lazy fly ball to left. After that moment, I thought it was over. I did not think the Phillies were going to come back in this ball game, and that's where I really started to turn from, that was supposed to be the big swing in that 7th inning. And plus, Trea Turner also went down and left the game, so you thought, okay, not great. So now it's a 4-3 ball game still. You go up with Alvarado. Lopez hits the 2-out home run, the solo home run, go up 5-3. And then just for the icing on the cake, because the Phillies were just 2 for 12. Phillies were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position going into the top of the 9th inning. And they got Bacher up there on the mound, who had not exactly pitched great earlier in this series. And wasn't exactly pitching great in this series. And then wasn't pitching great in this particular outing. He walks Kepler on a 3-2 count. Then he walks JT Realmuto, who, by the way, let me just stop right here. I love what Rob Thompson did here. Usually when he gives JT a day off, he gives him the day off, but he's like, the hell of it. So we're winning this ball game. We got 2 on. We got nobody out. We got 1 on. We got a 2-run ball game. JT, grab yourself a baseball bat. JT grabs a bat, works the walk. After almost getting hit, by the way, on the first pitch. So he works the walk there. You got first and second. You got nobody out. Bryson Stott comes out. All right, do you have him bunt or do you have him swing away? Have him bunt or have him swing away? Facing a right-handed pitcher, do you have him bunt or do you have him swing away? I don't like laying down the bunt. It is the grand book of baseball to lay down the bunt. I'm not going to throw a bunch of crud or mud at Rob Thompson for doing this. I get it. It's not egregious to me at all. He did what he's supposed to do. He tries to have him lay down the bunt. Bryson Stott pops out in foul territory to third, essentially. First out of the inning. Okay. Bader steps up there. Bader takes the first pitch that was on the inside corner, every bit of it a strike, and then takes the next pitch, offers at what would have been what would have made the count 1-1. He fouls that one away, so now he's down 0-2, takes another pitch, and then he ends up lining out to first, and they almost double off Max Kepler at second, but they don't, so hope is still alive. Now, remember when I was really specific with that 1-2 pitch to Kyle Schwarber in the 7th inning, that sweeper that he just annihilated? Well, now he's got 2 runners on. He's up in the count 3-0. If there is anyone on this planet that I'm giving the green light to in this situation, it's Kyle Schwarber. Now, Schwarber will take on his own, doesn't need to be told to take. If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't do it. He absolutely should have went at this pitch, and no one could fault him. Who's going to argue? You don't give Kyle Schwarber the green light there. What are you doing? You worked. No. If Kyle Schwarber's at the plate and he gets a big fat fastball out over the middle of the plate, Kyle Schwarber, swing away. And he should have swung away because that ball probably would have ended up in the right field bleachers. Instead, he takes it. He works the count full. He still helps the cause there with an RBI single. Fine. Phillies making a 1-run ball game. And then Bryce Harper. Come on. He goes down, grounding out to second. I think it was to end the game there. So that was a thrill there for the Phils that unfortunately just came up small. They fought but fell to the fish. Hope everybody's a fan of alliteration. When we come back, we'll take your comments on this one. We'll also talk about what the road ahead is there for the Phils. Oh, one last thing. Of course, I think you know it already.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Obviously, what you're going to be talking about here is Trea Turner's injury. As of right now, looking at the old social meds, I see nothing regarding Trea Turner's injury with specificity. So, strained right hamstring. See where we go from here. Back after this is Locked On Phillies postcast with your comments on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Right back after this. Hey, let me tell you about Monarch Money. Take advantage of all they have to offer at Monarch Money. Like right now, most people, they can't even name their financial accounts or even what they're worth. Come on. Whether it's a 401k, properties, or investments, when you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial portfolio to life and brings it together in one clean and easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your computer. Monarch Money is built for people with busy lives like you and me. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch Money is just for you. Monarch Money also helps you spend wisely. It also helps you build wealth. How about that? And save for that big vacation or maybe that new car, maybe the kids in college. So all that with Monarch Money. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com. In your browser for the first year, and you could get 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. That's monarchmoney.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Zippix. Write it down. This episode is brought to you by Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce the dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors, and you need energy without the crash. Their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. So go to zippixtoothpicks.com. That's zippixtoothpicks.com and use promo code LOCKEDON. That's promo code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. Zippix, that's fun to say. All right, let's, do I have this? I don't even know if I have this yet for you. Am I an idiot? I am. For mounting evidence of my stupidity. I just wanted to run through the scores real quick for you guys, the box scores, that is. Looking at the Phillies pitching staff today, here's what you had from them after the 5 great innings from Taijuan Walker. That first inning, terrible. So 6 innings in total, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Did give up the long ball, 87 pitches. Again, for him to give you those 5 innings after that terrible first inning was great. You still, unfortunately, had to end up using 4 bullpen arms. Alvarado, Kerkering, Meza, and Trevino. Jose Alvarado giving up that home run was an absolute killer. Kerkering to just throw 3 pitches there. Good job by him to get out of that. Meza, 2 walks today. Not great. 27 pitches. And then Trevino came in to finish things off there in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4 pitches to do that. So good for him. As for the Phillies lineup, as I mentioned earlier, in total, they were 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. What are you doing, boys? Trea Turner did get you the 1 hit. That was his 15th home run of the season. 13th, I think it was, away from Citizens Bank Park. Holy pots and pans. Schwarber did come up with the RBI single, but had a bigger opportunity to have an impact in this game. Bryce Harper came up with the 1 base knock today on what I like to call the hustle double. Brandon Marsh stays red hot, now batting .282 overall in the season with 3 for 3 today. There was one more instance, now that I look at that, which aside from just relaying information, which you guys can obviously get easily here, but it also does help to remind me another instance there in the 4th inning that Bryce Harper, he led off the 4th inning with a double. They weren't able to bring him around to score, unfortunately. Even a first and second 1-out situation. That's where Castellanos was at the plate. Marsh got picked off first in the 4th. That sucked. And then I believe it was the very next pitch, Nick Castellanos was called out attempting to check his swing. I've seen guys closer than Castellanos and getting allowed the checked swing, I guess is how you say it. So I thought it was a horrible call. I thought it was a bad call. I thought first base umpire Sean Barber made a really bad call in that situation. Also, Brandon Marsh getting picked off on the snap throw from the catcher is terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that. There was one more instance I thought Marsh had where he had a double. Am I blanking on this? He walked. Oh, maybe it was the single I'm thinking about. Yeah, maybe it's the single. Miss Scusi. Anyway, let's see what you guys have to say about this one with the Phillies dropping this one, unfortunately, to Miami Marlins and not being able to complete the sweep. Walker with a Walker of old first inning. Oh, yes, very true, Morgan Landy. Walker did his best Nola impression. Seabrook, good thing baseball doesn't matter on Sundays anymore. It matters to me. Well, I will say, Sundays and doing postcasts is going to be difficult, obviously, with football season, but we'll do what we can. I promise you, if I got to do double duty, you guys know I'm no stranger, no fear of doing double duty, because I serve the people. I serve the people. Philly Nate, not having Alvarado on the postseason is a good thing. I agree. I'm good. I'm good. And plus, in Alvarado's absence, a lot of the way, it was like he became a lot better of a – like at the time, he was still – I think he had your lowest ERA. He was like a 2.89 or something like that ERA when he went on the suspension, and now he's back. I'm like Alvarado for me is not the difference maker. You know what I mean? Joseph Brennan, hello. Anything more than a mild hamstring strain trade will be out of the playoffs. Well, we'll find out. Joseph Brennan, if grade 2 or higher, it's roughly 2 months or more. Gross. Let's not put that into the atmosphere. I get what you're saying. I appreciate that, Joseph. Seabrook 9. Stott even pops out of the opposite field when punting. That is funny. Respect that. First Wheeler, now Turner. This team is cursed, says Steve Lang. Well, we're waiting to see. See, bro, don't forget, Harper's still one of the best in baseball. Quote, Bryce Harper. Yeah, when he's on, when anybody's on, they're the best in baseball. I mean, that's kind of what being on means. Harper underwhelming in the clutch. I concur. Next man up, our shortstop is now Edmundo Sosa. I would move Stott to short and Sosa to second. I think Stott's got better range. I might make that move if it's anything long, but I don't even want to think about that just yet. Phillies Karen's fault, says Peter. That's great. How about that just going viral? Kemp is a hack. Oh, no, I'm not. I mean, Kemp might get brought up again but I'm not planning him to be an everyday ball player. Absolutely not. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Tomorrow, Phillies, Metropolitans. Tomorrow, South Philadelphia. I'll be here with you. Locked On Phillies postcast every step of the way. Okay? Let's get to it. When you talk about your Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets getting things underway tomorrow night. Any minute now. Notes. There we go. Phillies now 83 and 60 on the season. 83 and 60. They got a 6:45 start time tomorrow night in South Philly. 6:45. MLB Network, I believe, is also carrying this game, just so you know. Unfortunately for the Phils, they got Aaron Nola, and he'll be going against Nolan McLean, who has been only undefeated since becoming a big league pitcher. He's 4-0. Hopefully this is the start where people get to him. Second time the Phillies see him. So, yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys tomorrow night after the 6:45 start time between the Phillies and the Mets as they start a 4-game series in South Philly. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. See you then.